There is now justice for two Ohio women who were killed decades ago by the country's most prolific serial killer.
Samuel Little pleaded guilty today in Hamilton County to killing the women, 2 of 93 women that he says he's murdered. David Winter shows us what was so unusual about this hearing. David.
Well, Samuel Little appeared via Skype from a California state prison in California. He would be arraigned, plead guilty, and get sentenced, all in a matter of about 30 minutes, answering questions that have been left unanswered for years. 79 years old, diabetes-stricken, hard of hearing. The man wheeled into a conference room at the state prison in L.A., a far cry from the man who has admitted traversing the country for decades, strangling scores of women.
For the record, would you please state your full name?
Samuel Little.
Little pleading guilty today to killing in 1981 Anna Stewart, a drug-using prostitute, an unmarried mother of 3, who he says he met in the Over-the-Rhine area, strangled, then dumped in Franklin County. But it was the guilty plea for killing sometime between 1980 and 2000 a Jane Doe that was perhaps the most interesting, not because he came forward last year and drew a picture of her, but because, while appearing relatively unengaged during today's proceedings, he felt compelled to correct the prosecutor who was describing when Little met the woman on the stairs of a home in Mount Adams.
She motioned for him to come in. He went upstairs with her. There was another female there that he identified as a heavyset Puerto Rican. They did agree. Mexican, I'm sorry. Mr. Little corrected me, he said a Mexican.
Subtle, but an indication as to the acuteness of his memories of the 93 women he says he killed. The prosecutor also describing the single motive for all the murders.
The his bare hands on the bare necks, that's what actually got him sexually aroused, and that's why he did this. It wasn't for any other reason.
Little's defense attorney explaining why he came forward now to admit to the strangulations.
He informed me at this stage in his life he would like to do what he can to make it as right as he can by cooperating on these murders.
15 years to life on each, running consecutive to each.
After sentencing, Hamilton County's prosecutor describing why he wanted consecutive life sentences in Ohio, even though Little was already serving 3 consecutive life sentences in California.
If they get some whacked out governor and he terminates his sentence, we want to bring him back because we want justice for our 2 victims here in Cincinnati.
Well, that first Ohio victim, Anna Stewart, has a daughter in Tennessee and a sister in Ohio who did not come to today's hearing, but prosecutor Dieter says they told him that they were thankful for the sentencing. Dieter says that he is confident the identity of the second Ohio victim will be found and closure will be brought to that family. Cammie?
All right, David, thank you. And Samuel Little also appeared via teleconference today to plead guilty to murdering 2 women in Cleveland. He entered a plea to aggravated murder charges. Little killed a woman he met at a Cleveland bar in 1984. He strangled the victim and threw her down a staircase. The second case involved a woman who was killed there in 1991. Of the 93 women Little says he strangled, more than 60 have been confirmed by law enforcement.